Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Today, I want to continue on a subject that I started actually yesterday. This one has to do with the elements of thought generation as it pertains to goal creations. This stuff is really a heady subject because I am perhaps the only one who ever talks in terms of the mechanics of what a thought is. What if I told you that a thought has structure? It's not just some kind of thing, some electrons or neurons that are moving around here, that it actually has structure. You create something. And what you create isn't just a vaporous mass, but actually something that has structure. So now let's just consider a thought as sort of a vaporous entity that can change. All right, let's just consider a thought. All right, amusing about walking down the street. That's just a vaporous thought. I'm remembering an event that happened a couple days ago, and now I'm musing about what it was like and how I felt. Musing thoughts. And now I'm reading a book and I'm getting the images in my head and it's creating images, and that is another kind of thought. It's a more structured thought. Think of it as vaporous cubes. So instead of just this amorphous vaporous mass, you have like these vaporous cubes. Okay? And let's suppose after reading in the book or reading on your social media or doing research, you have multiple thoughts of the same nature. So you have these vaporous cubes here, and these vaporous cubes here, and these vaporous cubes here. But they're all part of the same family, and your mind assembles them together into a bigger body of vaporous cubes. And when you vocalize and physically say something in the physical, you make these cubes harden. They're hardened cubes. So now we have this sort of like this nebulous something with these hardened ice cubes, if you can imagine them, inside, swishing around and moving about because you vocalized them. The more you vocalize them, the harder those ice cubes get. So when you say it the first time, it's a little slushy. But when you say it over and over again, it gets frosty hard and they start to connect and stick to each other. But when you start actually saying things physically and then doing physical actions towards that goal, whether it's a picture on the wall to inspire you to think about something every day, or a picture on your desktop computer that flashes over and over again, or whether it's actually physically doing something like building a little model of a boat that you dream about. Whether these actions, when you're doing physical actions and saying things physically, you are hardening those little cubes of ice, those thought goals, into an almost kind of a liquid metal, almost like mercury perhaps. It's still subject to change, But as time goes on, it gets harder and harder and harder. So let's imagine, so let's look at what this thought is, this goal, what this thought is. This thought is now harder. It's a collection of cubes, not unlike Legos, not unlike quanta. You might even argue that a thought-generated cube is similar to the fundamentals of the quanta construction elements. That's another subject for another time. But, so you're creating these things. And now here you are, you're on this world line template. With its highs and lows. And your fate forecasting that affects how fast you climb up these highs and go down these lows. And all this kind of ties together. But you've got a goal now. And so you've been thinking about this goal, this image, this goal, this ice cubes or whatever. Well, it now exists on your template. But it won't manifest until you move along the vector line to reach it. You guys know this, right? You've got your goal out there and you're moving towards your goal, and you want to have it very defined and simple goal so that you achieve that goal. Then once you achieve the goal, then you can modify it. But let's say you have one goal and not this goal and they oppose each other. No, you've got one simple goal, and then you're going to that goal. Now, as I said before, goals are like, thoughts are like shells, and you'll go through these shells. And each time you go through a shell, you'll start seeing elements of your goals manifest. Whether it's like I said before, you want to drive a Bugatti and you end up be given a little model of a Bugatti. These little elements start showing up as you get closer and closer to your goals. Sometimes these elements are enough, and you say, okay, I don't care too much about this. I'm going to play with my little model now instead of wanting my Bugatti. But it doesn't matter. That's pretty much how it works. So what you want to do right now, as you start going through these outer layers of this thought construct, because that's what a goal is. It's a thought construct that is shaping up and taking form. It is materializing on a world line. You are creating a world line through your thoughts, and you are moving towards it. You are creating a world line that moves onto your template, and you're moving towards it. Boy, these are bad analogies. But that's pretty much what it is. So as you move towards it, you're seeing things manifest. Now, I use the example of the kitten because you have to switch on the attributes on and off as you get closer to this thought. Some of them are almost like binary answers. Yes or no. Did President Lincoln wear a top hat? Yes or no. Okay, it's a binary answer. Yes or no. Some of them are like a dial. How hot is comfortable for you? So it's like that. But these, as you get closer and closer to them, you start getting, and you want to fine tune them. The way you can judge how to fine tune things is the measure of the relative discomfort that you are experiencing as you start adjusting those parameters. Let's use an example here. You want a house. You want a big garage and a big porch. Okay? I'm sure you have lots of lists in the house, but let's just say you want a house, okay? Whether it's affordable mortgage or outright owning, you want a house. That's the first thing. You want a second priority is a big porch and a big car or a big garage. Those are your priorities. Anything else, you don't give a damn, okay? Roof can be falling in. You don't care. That's your parameters. As you start getting closer and closer and closer to this, you're seeing a lot of opportunities coming on up. You'll notice a for sale sign by this little old lady. You'll notice this workaround guy that says, hey, look, I'll let you live in this house, maybe even rent to own if you help me do some work. You're going to see opportunities start manifesting. And as these opportunities manifest, you might trip on a rug, get a fender bender in your car, start getting gas because you're eating a little bit too much banana milkshakes. You don't know, but you're starting to get a little bit of discomfort here. The more discomfort you get, the closer you know that your toggle switch is set at the right moment. So when I'm using the example of the kitty cat, which, by the way, I said hi to him last night and gave him a little bit of food. He seems to be doing well. He's living under a pile of rags and debris from construction, and he's warm and dry. I can't do anything about his little paw, though, but he seems to be healthy. I don't think I'm the only one who's feeding him, but seems to be doing okay. He just needs a friend and some food, so I'm giving him some food. In fact, guys, to tell you what MM is doing here, I put some dog food in my pocket, and when I get home from the office, I'm going to feed him some more. And if he isn't there, I'm going to lay it there where he's been sleeping. So I'm taking care of him. Now, my toggle is I can't take him in. That's the old MM that I would do, but it's physically impossible for me to do. But it doesn't mean I can't be a Rufus to some degree. All right? So I altered my switches because of my circumstances. By changing the switches, switching the dials, making alterations, and reading the discomfort that I have to give me guidance, I'm seeing how my goal itself changes as it adapts to the rest of my life. And that's why you need to do this. So you're saying, well, how do I know this is a switch? How do I know that this is a dial? How do I know that this little discomfort is an effect? And that is called awareness. Pay attention, keep your eyes open. You'll start seeing things. All right, guys. I hope this was beneficial for you. And know that I believe in you no matter what you do.